G'day friends, welcome to MerMay 2019 video 2. I have Steve with me.
Hi everybody.
When was the last time you were here?
Probably when I did the questionnaire thing by myself.
When you read me for filth.
I did not read you for filth.
Steve, for those of you who don't know, hi, my name's James. I'm going to be sketching through 10 mermaids today. The first video we did mermaids 1 to 10, now I'm going to do 11 to 20. And Steve is my husband.
Hi everybody.
Steve is a performer and a photographer.
I am.
So he's not essentially from this world, but I think...
I'm a creative.
You're a creative, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have my merch?
What?
Do you have my I'm a Creative hoodie merch?
I don't.
Wow.
Not my own. If I'm really cold,
So
I'll
you're
just
not a
wear
supporter. What you're saying is you hate my business. No, anyway, Steve is a creative, yes. So I feel like he has some really valuable insight to when we talk about creative things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to get a different perspective because a lot of my world revolves around the same things every day.
Well, I also think you have a very strong opinion, and sometimes you need a little bit of balance.
Who told you that? Where did you get that idea from? No, it's true. I do have a very strong opinion. I can be very decisive, and I can always be counted on to have horse blinders.
Yes, because decisive is good, but sometimes decisive, can get in the way. I think with the horse blinder thing, don't you think?
Would you say I'm a free thinker?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I am either.
No, and I don't say that as an uncompliment.
No, I'm not. I
just think
if
you're like you think everything out like to an extreme, which I think is really great. It's detailed, oriented, but I also think that there's something about, some freedom.
I think we've said this before. I think that's why I create so many fanciful, imaginative things, because in my day-to-day real life head, I'm extremely logical and practical.
Yes, you are also highly emotional, but you'll never admit that.
Correct, I won't. We're going to play one of our favorite games today called Conversation Starters for Kids.
Oh, really? It's your favorite game? Okay.
Yeah. How old are you, Steve? 24?
Yeah.
So we're going to play this game. I love this game because it always opens up really interesting discussion. If you feel like answering any of them, please let us know in the comments below what your answers are. Within reason. I mean, I don't think there's any crazy questions.
No.
I haven't even really looked at them.
Also, heads up, if you hear some rattling, it's the cat who's probably trying to get into some food behind us. Because I can literally hear him licking into a bowl that I told him to get out of.
Oliver has gained so much weight.
That cat's a punk.
Like more than me.
He's a punk.
He looks like a white pom-pom.
It's cute, though.
The other day when I walked into the house, because the cats can always be counted on for sitting in a certain position as you enter, like they're display cats. Yeah. And he was just sitting there, and his face was completely round.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know if he'd been sleeping weird, but his fluff was all forward. And Siamese are kind of pointy, but Oliver's always been
he's never been super pointy.
No, he's not like a savage Siamese.
And the thing is, if we put him on a diet, the house will be a mess.
Oh, he is angry for food.
Yes, angry. He knows how to open up all the doors, all the cabinets, all the cupboards, everything.
No, there's elastic bands on all the handles because he can get into them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and if you leave him in the bathroom, he will go bananas in there. There's just no stopping him.
He can get behind drawers. Not only open them, but get in them and then get behind them.
It's so freaky. I don't know. He's literally going to get himself killed.
He's way too curious.
Way too curious.
More curious than a regular cat, I reckon.
By the way, Oliver is our cat, if you don't know.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine? Oliver's our son. Just leave them at home in the bathroom. No, Oliver's a cat. Bianca's a cat. Steve's a human. I'm a human.
That's up for discussion.
Okay, if you could make up a school subject, what would it be?
What?
If you could make up a school subject, what would it be?
Nap time.
Really?
Yeah, sleeping.
You love to sleep.
Sleeping and movie, like lounge time, like comfortable time. So
relaxation
time. Like learn how to relax. Get a beanbag, a blanket, put on a movie, and just lights out for 3 hours.
Could you imagine if you went to school and it was like, all right, next period is me time?
The Italians do it.
To be fair, that's what I used my free periods for in the library.
And that's the thing. You know what?
Don't tell Mom!
No. You know, I was actually talking about this with a friend of mine last week, that there's all this pressure for high schoolers, right? Okay, in America. High schoolers in America. Mm-hmm. Her son is studying AP history or something like that, or AP, I don't know, some AP course. And she's like, why are you taking this? Like, well, because I have to, it's impressive with colleges. I'm sorry if you're a college professor out there. I'm sorry if you are a chair of a department, but I'm going to have to disagree with this whole situation. Because I felt like that in school too. I felt like the more AP courses, which AP stands for Advanced Placement, the more AP courses I took, the better I was, the smarter I was. So I attached a lot of value to it. And I think that actually did me a humongous disservice because, when you take the AP course at the end, the idea of AP courses, if you don't know them, it's a higher level of whatever the subject is. And they're teaching it to you when you're in high school, but essentially they're teaching you at a college level, a university level of whatever the subject is. And towards the end of the year, you take a test and you have to get a 3, 4, or 5, which would be your score on the test. And that way you don't have to take that course in college or university.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like it saves a step, which I guess maybe to a certain extent makes some sort of sense.
Well, you've got the time for it when you're a teenager.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, it's like, I don't know. To me, it seems like a waste. It felt like a waste.
I think, touching on the school subject that I think should be invented, I do believe there should be some kind of adulthood subject that would, like,
credit card debt,
taxes, and how debt works, how loans work, especially loans, because in this country, student loan debt is such a problem, I feel like. And let's not go into all the politics. Please don't feel the need to extend this question down below. But I do feel like the culture of the States is prepare yourself for college all the way throughout high school, get a big loan, go to college, and then figure out what you're going to do afterwards.
Right, and a lot of that goes back to the AP exams, where my friend's son was just like stressing out over this AP exam, and it's like, why are you taking it? Because I have to get into a good college. And I think at this point, like if you're a senior, I mean, yes, there's something great to be said about going to a big school, an Ivy League school. That's wonderful, fantastic, but you're not defined by that.
True, and it's, to be honest, it is difficult in the States to get anywhere without a college degree. Having immigrated to the States and never being through university, I did find that it was harder to enter the workforce, and essentially I ended up with my own business because that was the best opportunity I could give myself. So I'm not going to take anything away from the fact that people do know at this point that there is some necessity to it.
Absolutely.
But I don't think it should define how good you are as a person.
And how intelligent you are, how smart you are, what your value is, what you bring to the table.
A standard test of a subject that you could learn from a textbook does not make you,
and I hate
any
to say
better or worse of a person.
No, but I hate to say it now, like with the accessibility that we have to YouTube and all of that and to online courses. I mean,
for real, I think, didn't I tell you this, that they're going to start giving accreditations for certain YouTube courses?
I don't think that's a bad idea. Look, and I'm speaking as somebody who went, and I have my Master of Fine Arts in musical theater, which is great, and I love it, and I'm really happy because that's what I'm passionate about. And my degree does serve to help me teach at a university or high school level, should I decide to do that. But I've made my living as a performer, primarily. And there's a lot of history things that are really great. And I know a lot of friends of mine who've gone out to get their Bachelor of Fine Arts, and a lot of friends who are on Broadway, and they do, they've been very successful in their careers with that. But at the same time, the history of it does not necessarily mean that you're going to be an incredible performer. Do you know what I mean? They don't go necessarily hand in hand.
Right. When I had a resume, I always thought it was ridiculous to take a resume to an audition because they were going to see if I could dance it or not.
Right.
Like, they didn't care where I'd gone or who had taught me. They're going to see right in front of their eyes if I could do it. And a lot of the time, it didn't matter if you had 6 pages of resume before. They wouldn't take you if you didn't fit.
Right. And I think we're also talking about it from a creative point of view. I do think that, like, certain doctors and lawyers may do need to.
I don't think doctors should go to university, and I'm saying that today.
But I guess going back to the AP thing, it's like, where does your value lie? And it doesn't always necessarily have to lie in...
It's such a big ask at that age, I reckon.
You're like 17 or 18, like, go to prom. Yeah. Go to the football games. Like, hang out. Like, Go play. Go do some
sticky pics.
You can go figure the rest of it out. Like, I mean, truly, seriously, like, because, and we've talked about this before on this channel, that I truly believe that as adults, we have forgotten what it's like to play. That all of a sudden, you become a certain age, you have debts, you have responsibilities, and that is, yes, that does come part of adulthood, but it's as if you forget your creative curiosity and it goes completely out the window. And the truth is, adults are literally just kids grown up.
Yeah.
And just because you're grown up doesn't mean that you lose that sense of childlike wonder and curiosity and fun.
I think also the pressure to have it all figured out at that age is a little unrealistic.
To have it figured out at any age.
Yeah, I mean, I'm approaching 30 and I don't have it figured out. So if you'd have told me at 17, like, have it figured out, I wanted to be a fashion designer at 17, but I also wanted to go to Japan, but I didn't know how that would happen. And I ended up in the life that I was going to live anyway. So I feel like, thankfully, my family wasn't too stressed about what I was going to do.
Oh, mine is.
And I had a lot of grace in my family to just pursue what would essentially be the best thing for me to do, which I would encourage if that's your reality out there. If you have kids.
I think there's also like there's this whole idea now that we've gone on way too much of a tangent.
I know, I haven't even got to my second question.
But when that quote, like, if you do something you love, you're passionate about, and you'll never work a day in your life. I don't know how true that is.
I reckon if you do something, if you end up working in a job that you love, you'll probably work harder and more forever, because that's your passion. That's what you're in.
And you will definitely have your tough days.
And you will, for sure, in any case. Every situation, I'm sure, plays itself out the same way. You just probably have a bit more patience for it if it's something that you are passionate about. Like I can work until 3 o'clock in the morning doing this stuff, because even if I'm tired, even if I'm a little cranky or upset, or even if I feel like it's just a lot of work and I've overwhelmed myself, there's still something I love about drawing. Mm-hmm. There's still something I love about coloring in, or putting stickers down on a page, or designing something. Would I be so willing to work stocking shelves at 3 a.m. and have the same kind of commitment to it and dedication to it? Would I do it for as long? Like, no, that's not my reality. That might be someone else's reality. Or there are certain things that first of all, I feel like in my adult class at school, I would also let teenagers know that you're not going to be doing everything you want to do all the time. Yeah, that would probably be my first lesson.
Well, that it's also a hustle, that sometimes you just have to kind of take the job that you don't always love to do in order for the opportunity to open up.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do because, A, you might have put yourself in that situation, or B, that's just the hand that life dealt you. And I think it sounds so crazy to say this out loud, and I know some people won't agree with it, but, my family, I was always taught life isn't fair. And I struggle with that because I feel like sometimes I go on this tangent of being a justice warrior for no one. But
no, I mean, we need justice warriors.
For sure. But sometimes there are just things that happen that's just doesn't seem that fair. And I feel like if you're told that it should be all the time, you sometimes get lost in trying to make it fair and not really coming up with the solution that you need for yourself.
Yeah, you could just get caught up in
you can just be so angry that it's not fair that you don't do anything. And so I've always kind of thought, well, yes, it's not fair, and yes, I hate this, I'm allowed to not like this, but I've got to find a solution for this so that I can move forward from it. And that's something that I never expected as a child I would ever have to think of. Because, I mean, as a kid, if it's not fair, your parents kind of take care of it for you sometimes. Right, and the idea is that,
like, when you're a grown-up, when you're an adult, like, everything will be fine and fair and everything will be sorted out. But I find that the older you get, the more unfair things are.
Well, also, do you remember being a kid when you thought, oh, when I make money, I'm eating pizza and ice cream every day, and you can't tell me I'm not going to?
We did that yesterday, but then, like, you paid for it at the gym. Like, everything comes with a price.
That's another adult lesson in my course. We should just do it on YouTube anyway. What? Just for free for teenagers. Adult lessons. I don't have it figured out. I wouldn't say anything.
Look, I would have like severely benefited from that. 100%.
I think everyone would, because as an adult, we forget to play, but sometimes we do forget that there's still that child in us that just wants to be taken care of sometimes, and you sometimes take for granted.
Do my laundry? Thanks.
No. If I offer, I will do it. Otherwise, you're out of luck. I think sometimes you just think, well, where do I get my advice from if I'm an adult? Because people tell you have to have it figured out. You have to know because you're an adult. Sometimes you just really don't know. And who are you supposed to ask? Oprah? She stopped doing her show now.
Look, but the reality is that we're all on a journey together. We're all on a journey, period. Maybe not together, but we're all on a journey. And people have been where you're at, and you've been where other people have been. Then yes, and sometimes you might not be. I don't know. I think it's all just... I think that's why you need to have grace for people. And I think it's understanding that sometimes, and we have this conversation all the time, and I think you might disagree with this, that I think that we just have to believe that everybody's just doing the best that they can.
You tell me that. Sometimes I don't know how true it is, but then I have understood to an extent that, like, someone had told me once, sometimes doing the best you can is getting out of bed and having a shower and seeing what you're able to do for that day. And having been in a few more, like, difficult circumstances towards, like, the more recent years of my life, I have started to understand where that comes from. And so I'm more willing to agree with you there. obviously I want to argue it because I just love a good argument. But yeah, no, I do agree. I think you've just got to be willing to accept that your best is going to look different.
Well, right.
And it's hard to think that because sometimes I know my best is being so capable. So if I'm not being that capable, then I think, what a failure. Like, what a mess.
The other part of it is that you also have to be willing to have grace for yourself and grace for others, because grace is offered to us.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to go into that space and to step into that, then I think you're basing your convictions, you're basing another person's life based on your convictions. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're using yourself as the benchmark.
Right.
And
exactly.
and I will admit I've been guilty of, and I think Steve had pointed out to me before that, you know, just because you could do something doesn't mean someone else could do something. Even if you had the same opportunity, even if you had the same ability to do it, sometimes you have to factor that in, I think, especially with social media, because when you are just getting a snapshot of someone, you don't really know the rest of what's going on. So it is really easy, I think probably is the worst thing about social media. It's really easy to judge somebody.
Yeah.
And, you know, as Christians, we're not supposed to judge. Like, that is not our job. But I think we can fall into that trap because you look at certain circumstances and you think, well, I would have just done that. Or I would have just done this. Or why can't they just do that? And even if, you know, it's not necessarily their fault that they're presenting their realities or a half of their realities, because, you know, some people need that as well. And I don't know, that was something I felt a little guilty of. And I when you brought it out and kind of we had an opportunity to explore that, I did change my mind about that.
Oh, that's the first I've heard of it.
Have you not been secretly reading my journals? Okay, let's get on to the second question, because wow, 17 minutes in, we just apparently we both needed school subjects to help us. I did enjoy school for the most part. What is your favorite letter of the alphabet and why? I'm gonna guess yours is. Oh, I was gonna guess. What do you think mine is?
J.
Of course. And why? It's obvious.
Yes. That goes without saying.
If someone gave you $20, what would you buy with it? You know, I'm going to change that. If I gave you $20 to buy something from me, what would you go out and get?
I'd go pay a debt.
For me?
Yeah, that'd make you feel better.
Wow. Just airing that dirty laundry out.
What would you get me?
Ice cream.
$20 worth of ice cream? That's a lot of ice cream.
Yeah, get it for you for a couple of days.
Okay. It lasts a day and a half.
I'm sure you could eat $20 worth of ice cream.
I actually really want to go get some.
I'd get you like an ice cream or a brownie or something.
If I had $20, what would I buy you? I'd probably buy you like a shirt.
Really?
Yeah. Or like a pencil or...
A shirt that you would want to end up wearing? Because I don't get shirts.
No, I remember I bought you some of those, like that Wally shirt.
Oh, yeah. Probably wouldn't be able to afford it with $20, to be honest. If you had... Oh, no, I don't like that question.
Which animal at the zoo do you like the best?
Monkeys. Hands down.
Oh,
super entertaining.
Oh. I love a good lion because they're powerful and lazy.
Isn't one of your dreams to hold a baby cub?
Yes. Yes.
You'll get that. If not in this life, you'll get it in heaven.
Oh, in heaven, I'm definitely like napping with lions. I already told God I want a pet lion.
You might want to do it in heaven, because I feel like if you do it on the planet, on the Earth, you might end up in heaven after that.
No,
like,
I'm fine.
I get it when people are like, "Oh, I reunited with my lion that I raised when I was 18," and I think, yeah, there's still that chance that lion wants to eat you.
No, that's that. What was that big thing that came out several years ago? Christian the lion, was that his name?
Oh, the one that like killed the owner?
No.
Oh.
He was raised by...
I don't know.
He was bought at Harrods in England by this couple.
And they released him.
No, well, right. And so he got he got too big to be inside their home. And so he played out in the church courtyard. And so that's why they named him Christian. And so then they released him back to the wild.
It's like Bianca, the Christian cat.
Yes, the Christian cat. And so then they released him back into the wild in Africa. And they went back to visit him. And he remembered them.
I love that.
Animals know.
Animals do know. You know, should I admit this online? I get more upset when animals are
die on TV.
Yeah, when animals die than I do when humans die.
I can't handle it. Like Game of Thrones when the horse went down in the flames.
Literally the whole time of Game of Thrones, I didn't care about anything. But when the horse fell over, I was like, ah!
That's so sad. And every time I see a horse, I just want to hold one of my cats because for whatever reason there's a...
I know, but then I get guilty because when I'm on Instagram looking at other cats, I want a new cat, and then I feel bad for my own cat.
I'm the same.
I'm like, I hope Oliver doesn't know what I'm thinking right now.
No, it's fine. I mean, they know.
Okay. If your friend is sad, what do you do to make them feel better?
by the McDonald's.
Am I that friend?
Yes.
Yeah, I usually throw a good little purchase their way, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think giving a gift is... Well, I mean, also talking about it, that always helps.
Mm.
But sometimes you don't want to talk about it when you're sad. Sometimes you want something different. Or you've been sad for 20 minutes, you don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to invent a new ice cream flavor, what would it be?
Invent a new ice cream flavor?
Yeah.
I think that's hard because all the good ones are already out there, the ones that I like.
I reckon a Sicilian lemon sorbet.
I don't eat sorbet.
Really?
No, I don't like sorbet.
What?
It's like icy.
I like
creamy.
Icy.
I know,
No, because I don't like milky things.
No, I like that. Like gelato.
I say that, but then I'll go and eat like a block of cheese.
Anything.
What's your favorite word? That's an odd question. Milk pops to mind, but I only like it because there's jokes about it.
I don't know. What's my favorite word? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
The longest one. Would you switch roles with your parent if you had the chance?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Sorry.
No. I love you, Mum, but sorry. It's not because of your life. It's you. No, I just honestly, I wouldn't want to know. And this sounds terrible of me, but I helped with my nephew when I was at home after my accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I got a very good idea of why I was not ready and possibly didn't want to be a parent because of how much energy it was just to take care of them. And even though my mum has adult children and, she doesn't just take care of them anymore, I think one of the things that I would hate to be as a parent is constantly worried for where my children are, how they're doing, what they're doing, if they're okay. Like, do they need me? I haven't heard them in 2 days. Like, what's going on?
Like, even as when they're adult children?
For sure. Because then you can't even see them every day.
Yeah, so but I feel like...
Don't you just question where they are all the time?
I mean, probably, but I think that's where I'm not a parent.
Yeah.
But I would hope...
Give me your insight.
I don't know. For me, at least, it'd be like, you just got to let your kids fly, right?
Yeah, but I think that would be a constant anxiety for me. I don't know. I'm not a parent. If you are a parent, you don't face that, let me know, because I could change.
Is it a control thing?
No, because my mum didn't control me.
No, I'm not saying for your mum. I'm saying for you.
Yeah, but I feel like I'd be very similar.
I feel like
as
in my experience, sometimes there's levels of control there, even with us as adults. Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't share that.
Why do you share that? I think a parent will always probably keep you in that, like...
But are they trying to keep you for your safety or for their safety? Oh. For their comfort or for your comfort?
No, I think sometimes mum would just say something just so that she knows she said it.
But why?
Just in case.
Why?
Because you got to help.
Really? No, but is that unsolicited
No, but
advice?
I've always been allowed to take that for what it is. Like, she's not going to enforce it on me.
Which I get to a certain extent, but sometimes...
Once I left the house, it was a very different... I wasn't a kid anymore. I wasn't a child. You didn't have to, like... She didn't have to enforce anything. But at the same time, she's still my mother.
Yeah, but could you do the same back?
No, I don't think I could.
See,
I think I'd be worse.
But I feel like as adults, should adult children and adult parents have a similar relationship, whereas if the adult parent is going to give whatever unsolicited advice to their adult children...
Should you give it back?
Should they be able to receive it?
No, I don't know.
See, I feel like they should.
No,
we're all adults now.
No, I still feel like
generations are different.
I feel like it's about respect at that point, that you respect your elders. But that's how I was raised, so I'm only going to see it from that way.
Do you feel like a parent giving unsolicited advice to their child is respect, or is it disrespectful?
Yeah, but see, this is where it's different and it's going to be different for everybody. But like. Mom gave me
because when my family comes and tries to give me like certain unsolicited advice, to me I feel like it comes from a place of disrespect. Sometimes it comes out of a place of respect.
Yeah, but see, like, I've always been able to share what I thought anyway. So I feel like if Mum told me, hey, you gained a lot of weight, I could tell her that she did too.
Would that be considered respectful or disrespectful?
No, but that's more of a joke in my family. I don't know. For me, I would probably just keep it to myself unless it was asked for. But I think for my mum, I just respect that she doesn't do anything to hurt me. So
I would love to hear what people have to say about that.
I feel like that's opening a huge can of worms. I would not like to hear what you have to say about that. I think everyone's going to be different, but that's where I feel like, from my own family experience, from my mum, I feel like she's never gone out of her way to hurt me. So I don't anticipate that as an adult that she's going to change and suddenly give me advice that would be
nobody's saying that. I just think it's the idea of, as adults, being able to respect each other and to respect the space.
Yeah, but I still can't take out my mind that she's my mum. Because I've always, like, when kids were at school and they would say, "Oh, my mum's my best friend," I would think, "Oh, that's bad."
I don't think that's bad, but I think if your mother is your best friend, then there should be a mutual level of respect.
Well, I think there would be if she was your best friend. But I've always thought, no, there has to be that separation where this is a relationship unlike any other, because I have to be able to hear what she's saying. I have to be able to respect it and understand where it comes from, because that's my mother and her only job here is to make sure that I'm okay. So that's what I accepted and just took for what it was.
I think we might have to agree to disagree on this.
I think it's such a heavy topic. And how did that... What was the question? Oh, if you could switch
roles. You asked that question.
Yeah, both answers for us is no. I don't want to switch roles. Honestly, because I think the anxiety of worrying about my children would just be a bad day. But now I'm curious. I'm going to ask my mum if she worries about me when I'm not around.
Anything, but in everything. My prayer and petition, Philippians 4:6-7.
Yeah, but I want to know if my mum's worried about me right now.
Of course she's worried about you.
How often?
Probably all the time.
She'll be listening to this thinking,
I'm sure.
Yeah, I worry. Okay, well, we'll have to leave it at that. Sorry for leaving something so heavy. Hopefully the MerMay drawings was good for your eyes while we abused your ears. I don't know, These conversation starters were for kids, Steve. For kids.
I mean, look,
we got so adult.
When was the last time you used the words thank you? I don't know. When was the last time you used the words thank you? I used it today.
30 minutes ago when I made you redo this voiceover.
Oh, you gonna open that one?
Nope. I said thank you. That's the question. Okay. Thank you again. Oh, now. I said it right now.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
I love that. That's my American accent. Thank you. We're going to be back. I'll be back on Friday for a gouache setup video. It's not a review, but I'm going to set up my perfect gouache palette and chat about the gouaches that I was using.
What is gouache? It sounds like glue.
It's like a really pigmented watercolor type paint. So it's like a flat layer of color, but it's water reactive. It's not like acrylic where it dries in your pan. We'll be doing that next week.
That's all Greek to me.
We have the last MerMay that you saw with all the lines. It's a really fun process to do. I know it's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm going to put a tutorial up on YouTube for that next week with the concept stamp set. And we'll have your last MerMay video next week. Fun fact, I've already finished all of them and I really enjoyed it.
It's because we also have to move, so you're proactive.
Yes, we're moving. Someone call my mom. I'm excited to move. For real, I'm excited.
Yeah, we just have to pack up this house.
It's just packing, moving. Oh, so the store will close this weekend for a few weeks.
Yeah, if you have anything that you would like to purchase, yes, I run the store.
Yes, Steve runs the store now. So,
last orders are Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. The store will close on Sunday for an
Sunday, what?
Undisclosed amount of time.
Yeah.
It'd probably be at least a couple of weeks, because we'll be up teaching in NorCal in June.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a meet and greet in June as well. So there's lots of fun stuff coming, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that the store was closing so you could get any of that if you wanted to play with it throughout the next month.
What time on Sunday?
I don't know. Whenever you decide to ship the orders out. Steve will print out all the last orders and then close it after that. So I'm assuming probably Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Sunday 3 p.m.
We're going out to a church picnic, no?
All right, so Sunday 4 p.m.
I don't think you'll have it printed by then. What? We need to have this conversation off screen because we're just going to keep you around for ages.
But Sunday. Know that Sunday is the last day.
Sunday will be the last day. Yeah, anyway. Thank you for joining us for MerMay, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.